Hi, my name is Dennis Siri. I am Executive Director and founder of the New York City Independent Film Festival, Independent in Spirit, International at Heart, and this is the New York City Independent Film Festival Meet the Filmmakers podcast. Join us while we meet this year's filmmakers. Thank you. Bye bye. Hi, welcome to this episode. We're here with the cast and crew of You Can't Be an Artist. Hi, guys. Welcome. Please introduce yourselves. Michael, I guess we'll start with you.
Okay, my name is Big Mike Saviello. I'm a owner of one of the most iconic hair salons in New York City, barbershop, Astor Place hairstylist. Been in
Okay, I
business
know
for,
them.
yeah, we've been in business for 75 years. I've been there for 40 years. And I met a lot of people and everybody comes to Astor. And a few years ago, probably like now it's going to be 6 years ago, I started painting. I always wanted to do it. It was my passion, but I never did it. You know, life gets involved and everything. You have kids, you never have time. Painting takes time. But 6 years ago, I started painting and I just started painting in my lunchtime, and it's evolved into this crazy New York scene. And I have a big gallery now at the shop, and I met a lot of artists, and I did a lot of art shows. I've been in galleries featured in Chelsea, solo shows, and I sell paintings all around the world through Instagram. And I was on Humans in New York, and I was on New York Nico made a movie about me, and then Krystsina and Yassine made another documentary, and yeah, it's been going pretty crazy. So that's my whole story.
Okay, great. Krystsina?
Hi everybody. My name is Krystsina, and I'm a co-director for this feature-length documentary "You Can't Be an Artist and Only New York Story." And I'm here pretty much representing both of us, me and Yisin. He's traveling, so he couldn't attend, but he sends his regards. I originally am from Belarus, but I've been living in New York for the last 15 years. And I'm actually a fashion designer. I've been working in the fashion industry for the last 10 years or more. And making films is my passion. It's kind of like a side project that turned into like this life-changing experience for me. Yisin, he comes from the Middle East. He used to be in the music and TV industry over there, and he basically came to the United States, and that's where we met and kind of launched on this joint project together with him.
Okay, great. Welcome. I'm glad you guys decided to join us. All right, so I'm going to start with this one's for Krystsina. What made you want to be a filmmaker? What was that decision? How did that happen?
I mean, the short answer is curiosity. You know, like I already said, I'm not really a trained professional filmmaker. I'm a fashion designer, but I've been always interested in everything creative outside of my usual realm. So one day I was just browsing the internet and I saw this like a filmmaking course that was offered by New York Film Academy. So I decided, why not? And that's where I actually met Yassine, because at that time he just came to the United States from the Middle East, and he also just took this course just, you know, to see how it's done in the United States. That's where we met. And we started doing all these random short projects together, short movies, music videos, and stuff like this. And little by little kind of grew into this much bigger thing that is a feature-length documentary, which is pretty much a first feature-length project for both of us, me and him.
Okay, great. And I guess, Mike, you just kind of evolved into from a hairstylist to painter to now film actor.
Yeah.
Well,
So
tell us.
I met Yassine and Krystsina. They came into the Astor Place, and they were like friends with one of our hairstylists, and we became friendly. And then they started seeing my artwork, and they came approach me, says, you know, we'd like to do this project and everything. And then the project evolved. Um, Basically, me start painting and how I started, but also the whole story is about all the people I met just through the barber shop. So many actors and actresses, and and artists and celebrities come to Astor Place, and so they were seeing my paintings, and they said, "Who paint those?" And I said, "I did." They couldn't believe it. They said, "I know you for 40 years. I never knew you painted." I said, "I didn't know either. I just started." So that was, so that evolved into the documentary. All the people I met, all the artists, very famous artists in New York, and all well accomplished artists, and all the shows I did, and all the people we met. So that's the whole story. It is a New York story. It's like only could happen in New York. I mean, if I was painting, I live in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. If I was painting there, who the hell's gonna know? You know what I'm saying? I say a tree falls behind my house, nobody's gonna know. Tree falls in Astor Place, everybody knows. Especially if there's an earthquake, like yesterday,
I
everybody
was on
knows.
one of these poles when that happened.
Yeah.
Everybody's safe.
So yeah, so that's how this all evolved, and the movie is beyond my expectations I ever could think. They did a great job, and it's heartfelt for artists and for anybody who wants to do. Basically, it's about anybody who wants to do something in life that it's never too late to start what you want to do. Like I always wanted to do this, but never had the chance. Life is, it gets in the way, and people don't have time. And I started painting my lunchtime because that was really the only time I had, and that evolved. My lunchtime, I was going to paint. I just decided I have 1 hour lunch. That's how I'm going to spend it. I'm going to spend it painting. I tell everybody, if you want to do something, do it, and make a time of day that you want to do it. And so that's what the whole movie. And all the other people I met, they all have the same story. Like some went to art school, some are professors in art colleges, and some are just started like me. Like just one guy, Danny, started with COVID. He wanted to do it in his whole life, and now he's like the biggest thing too. And it's like it's never too late. So the story is about New York City. That's what it really is. That's why it's a good title for it.
New York City, and it's never too late.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so I guess this one's also to Krystsina. How long have you been making movies?
Well, like I said, not for very long.
Well, it sounds like you made a bunch of music videos and shorts. So when did all that start? 5 years ago?
Yeah, so it all started, I would say maybe a couple of years before the pandemic. Yeah, before that, I had completely different interests. I was more like involved in the fashion design career, which I'm still is, but then I just decided to pivot a little bit and, expand my horizons. So little by little, it just becomes a bigger passion of mine.
Okay, cool, great. All right, so this question is, usually I only talk about film, but I think Michael, we're going to talk a little bit about painting. So Michael, when you said to your family and friends, I'm going to be a painter, what was their reaction? Did they sit there and go, just stick to the haircutting? Or they sit there and go, yeah, go for it, you can do it?
Yeah.
What was their reaction?
The one who really started me was my wife. She always knew I had a passion to I always wanted to do it. She knows, like the passion was when I was a little kid. I used to go to Italy every summer. My father was the only person that came to America. I had 3 uncles in Italy, all my grandparents in Italy. So I used to go there all summer for 3 months. And I was maybe like 8, 9, 10 years old when I used to go every summer. And as soon as I got in Italy and I just walked around the town, it was amazing. It was art everywhere, and I just saw this art. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. You go into one of the churches and there's masterpieces in there. It's like, and then, then my uncle brought me to the Vatican, and we went to Sistine Chapel, and and he showed me, we're in there, and he goes, look, that's Michelangelo, the creation. It's like, your name, Michael. I said, yeah. He says, what do you think of that? I said, I could do that. So I was like 8 years old. But in my mind, I was impressed, but I said, I could do that. I know, like, for some reason, I knew I could do it. I'm very perspective, and I never did it, but I knew for some reason I knew I could do it. I said, and I was amazed by the art, but I wasn't amazed like, I could do that. I could do that. I know I could do that. I was looking at how it was done and how they did it, and I was thinking in my head how I could do that. But I never did it. Started playing football in high school, and then get married and things happen. But my wife always knew I had that passion to thing, and then so then it was so funny. A friend of mine, he wrote a book, and he was a stockbroker, and he became it got published, and he hands me this book, and I go, damn, Ralphie, how'd you get this book done? He goes, all my life I wanted to write a book, and I never had a chance to. And I said, how'd you do it? He goes, well, I got up at midnight, started writing to 3, 4 in the morning, and then I go to work. And I said, wow, then like it inspired me so much. I said, you know what? I'm going to start painting. This guy wrote a book, and it was so weird that night I found a canvas leaning outside the front of the building, and I said, wow, this is a sign. It was a unicorn spray painted on it, and I brought it into the shop, and I said, okay. And I took this picture of my wife. We were eating like a hamburger in this place, and had a big sunflower on the table, and she was looking at me, I was looking at her, and I'm just like, I snapped a picture, and I said, if I ever start painting, this will be my first painting. But my favorite painter is Van Gogh, and the sunflower and the whole thing. So I took that picture like 8 years ago. So when I started painting, it was a big canvas. It was a 4 foot by 6 foot canvas. And I said, I brought the picture in, I started sketching. It took me like 2 months to do that. And I finally got it done, and it came out pretty nice. And I was like, wow. And I showed my wife, and she was so happy. She was like, yeah, you finally started doing it. And then another whole story evolved right after that. Like 1 week later, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was like the whole world was upside down. And we're driving back from the doctor, and we're both crying. And like out of the blue, she goes, whatever you do, don't stop painting. I said, what the hell are you talking about? It's just like the last thing I'm thinking about right now. And that put it in my head. I said, I got to keep painting. And then since she said that, I just keep painting. I did a couple of paintings of her and for her that got her through the chemo and all this stuff. And I've just been going since then. Yeah. So she was my inspiration to keep painting and to start painting too. Obviously, my first painting was of her. I saw you. Yeah.
All right, Krystsina. So what did your friends and family say when you said, okay, I know I'm in the fashion industry, but I'm gonna start making movies? What was their reaction?
I mean, my family has always been supportive of everything I do, because back in the day when I was still in the university, I was actually preparing to become an international lawyer. Then I moved to New York. I decided to go into fashion. I just feel like it's always important to follow where, your inclination leads you, because you never know what is going to start for you. And somehow, the universe aligns when you make that first step, and yeah, you just have to do it. You just have to do it. And obviously, it's not an easy thing to juggle a lot of things, and you still have to, like make a living for yourself. We live in New York. It's not cheap. So, but it's possible. And we're the living proof. Big Mike is the living proof. It's always possible to do what you want to do.
All right, I guess my next question, which I think you guys kind of answered, we'll still talk a little bit about it, a little bit to it. You have your tribe, your support group, the people who are, your tribe. You have that? You both feel as though you have that?
For me, throughout, especially in relation to this specific film, it's the biggest support is, first of all, my co-director Yasin. Like, we've been supporting each other through this whole process, and it took us a little bit over 3 years to make this film, to finish this film. And we lived through so many highs and lows throughout that time. And we were so many times close to, okay, like giving up. It's taking too much time, effort, and, it's not worth it. But it's just important to have that person next to you who is like, when you're at your low, he's supporting you, and vice versa. And secondly, all the people who participated in the film, especially Big Mike, their patience, their enthusiasm to do that, their support was a very big help throughout the process. And when you feel, this group of people behind you, around you, that you're not alone in this, you're together with all these amazing people who rely on you, and you rely on them, that that gives you extra strength and energy to push forward.
So the answer is yes, you have your tribe.
Yes, I do.
How about you, Mike? You feel as though you have your tribe?
Oh yeah. The funniest thing, the first day we filmed, like it seems so long ago, was this. We filmed on Saturday night. And so they wanted to start filming, and I said, okay, I'll invite a couple of my artist friends, because we closed the shop at 7 o'clock. I said, I'll bring a couple of my artist friends. I had a guy come, guitar player, and like all these characters I meet at Astor Place that always that I started painting with and collaborating with. I said, "Oh, come, we're gonna film. They want to film this documentary. Just come paint at nighttime, and we'll start filming and stuff." And that was Saturday night, and it was so weird. Like everything's going crazy. My wife's calling me up, says, this COVID thing is happening. They're talking about closing the city. I said, what are you talking about? And like, no, I said, no. I said, and she's like, you got to come home. You got to come home. I said, no, we're going to start filming tonight. I got everybody coming over. So we filmed that whole night. It was like, then we filmed like, I guess, 11 o'clock. And then next thing you know, we go home and then we closed the shop for 2 months after that. It was that weekend. It was like Saturday, we closed Sunday, and then Monday we didn't open for 2 months. And it was like, it was so surreal. Like it was like we were so excited that we were starting this whole project, and then it just 2 months, like nothing, the whole world was ending, So that was, then after the COVID, we started talking again. So, and because we were all tight knit group, like Yasim and Krystsina, they were like great, and like, okay, we'll start filming. Let's move on. What are we gonna do now? I said, okay, we got some. Then one gallery wanted to do a show when COVID. I actually was like right before we were still closed, like COVID was still going on, and like, but at the end of it, we did a gallery show, and they came and filmed that, and yeah, and then we just got the ball rolling again. But it was kind of crazy. Like, that was the first night we filmed, and that's the same weekend that New York City closed down. So it was like, I'm glad they stayed with the project, because the project could have ended right there. Like
Yep.
2 months go by and you're ready to film and you're ready to do your stuff. 2 months is like an eternity. Like probably for them it was.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how our tribe worked. Yeah, we stayed together.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's great. Without it, you don't get anywhere.
Right.
So I guess my next question is, which I'm going to combine, I used to ask them separately. What was the hardest part and what was the most fun part of this project? Krystsina, I guess we'll start with you once more.
I mean, the hardest part, I think it was this logistical portion of the film, just gathering everybody together, because when there's so many people involved, it's so many schedules involved, it's so many, personalities involved. Also, COVID was the biggest challenge. Like Big Mike already talked about it a little bit. It happened right when we started. So we're like, what is going on? Nobody wants to go out. Nobody wants to meet anybody. No, nobody wants to do anything. Everybody's scared for a while. So it was just kind of hard to keep the momentum going, and the energy, kind of like died down. And then we had to, convince everybody to keep going. And second of all, like I already said, everybody has their full-time job apart from this. So life interferes all the time. Yisim had to move to a different state for work. So it was difficult to even for me and him to come together to do something. But in the end, luckily, everything worked out.
Like a smarter man than I said, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans.
Exactly. But at the same time, all those challenges kind of turned into the most fun parts of the filmmaking process, because we met so many interesting people, so many new people. There were so many fun, situations on set when we would come to film an interview and we forgot a lens or a battery for the camera or something like this, and we had to run home and grab it. It's like, it's a challenge, but it's also a memorable experience at the same time. It's like, what are you making of it?
Right. Okay. And Michael, what would you say was the hardest part and the most fun part?
Like Krystsina said, the hardest part was the logistics of it, because we both worked, working. The shop is open 7 days a week, and we were just coming out of COVID, and then a whole new situation. Even the people that we were planning on having in the documentary, a lot of them moved out of the city. Then they weren't around no more. But then it evolved because we met new people. I met new artists. And plus, even the people that we want to do and the stuff we want to do, even a year later, still it's like the new variants came out, that people started wearing a mask again. People were scared to talk to each other. It was tough to do a gallery show. Then we started doing gallery shows, and then it was like, oh, we only have this much people, that many people. It was all the logistics was just crazy, and plus the people that we were planning on, a lot of them moved away because of COVID. Then we had, then I actually met new people, and but then it all got put together pretty nicely. We started doing the gallery shows. We did Fashion Week, and I had my paintings on the runway in Fashion Week, and they had that, and so then everything slowly became going back to normal. But it was always the logistics. I work, she was working, Yasim's doing his project, everybody's doing, it was tough to get together, even get everybody together, like I would do a gallery show on the weekend or fashion with the weekend, and they work all week, and it's tough. Yasim was living in Philadelphia, had to drive all the way back to film something. It was mainly was the logistics, and that was the crazy part of the whole thing, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess this is more for you, Krystsina. In the indie world, we're never going to become rich. I mean, like, you make an indie film, I'm not going to buy mansions from making indie films. So what do you see as success in the indie film world?
Well, I guess it's just being able to enjoy what you do. Like you said, it's not a very rewarding experience in terms of monetary compensation, but it's the whole process of being creative, of meeting interesting people, of expanding your horizons. And you will not do it unless you love it, Like it's not a commercial project. It's a project of passion. So for me, as long as you enjoy what you're doing, it's successful. Like, we definitely enjoyed what we were doing. Otherwise, we would not be doing it for over 3 years.
I guess in some ways, Mike, you have had commercial success, but would you paint anyway? Like, what is the most rewarding aspect of painting?
The most rewarding aspect, of painting was I always wanted to do it, and like I had a vision to do something, and I wanted to do it my way, and I just started painting, and I did the first 4 paintings of my wife, and I was just having fun. People would come in. I would paint in the back hallway at the barber shop, like nobody saw me. I was just in the back hallway, and I was painting. And people come see me, and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing this?" I said, "I always want to do my whole life, and everything. Just always want to do it." But then the funny part was how it become commercial was, like after I did a couple of paintings, this one young kid that was a hair cutter at Astor Place named Jeff, and he goes, "Man, those paintings of your wife are great, but nobody's gonna buy a painting of your wife." And I said, "What are you talking about? I don't even want to sell it. I don't want to sell. I'm just doing it for myself. I just wanted just to paint." He goes, "No, you want to sell a painting? Paint Biggie Smalls." And I was like thinking to myself, "Oh," I said, "All right, yeah, Biggie Smalls, yeah." And I was thinking he had the Gucci sweater and the crown and all those colors, and I painted with a lot of colors. I love colors, and I said, "Yeah, that'd be a cool painting." So I did this. I did the painting of Biggie Smalls, and he put it on top of his station, And then, like, it was up there for a week, and then all of a sudden he comes up to me, goes, "This guy wants to buy that painting. How much you want to sell it for?" I was like, "I don't know. Tell him 250." He goes, "No, we'll tell him 500." He goes up and he goes, "Mike, he wants to buy the painting for 500. I'm thinking, I said, "Oh my God." So that was like the first, I was thinking, okay. That was like my first commercial sale, and then like I started doing, I said, "Okay, I'll paint Biggie Smalls." And then I painted Marilyn Monroe, and then I painted Tupac, and it was so funny. Before Krystsina was this kid that used to come to Astor Place. His name New York Nico, and it was his customer, and he goes, in New York, this guy. He goes, "Yeah, it's Nick. He's been coming since he was a little kid." He goes, "No, he's like really big on Instagram. He's an influencer." I said, "What the hell is Instagram? What the hell is an influencer?" He goes, "No, and he starts talking to me, and he goes, you did that." He goes, "That's interesting." Like, and then he comes like 2 months later. He says, "I want to do a little thing on you." He did this little small documentary about me, and it was called Big Mike Takes Lunch, and it was crazy. He put it out, and it like went viral. And that's like what everybody you put it out on Saturday on Vimeo, whatever that is. What's that? Something like that. And it went like, right, like, you got to come to work Monday. Channel 4 News, Vice News. The next thing you know, like all these, it was crazy. Like, now I was on the news for like, I was on Channel 11 News, Channel 4 News, Vice News, and then yeah, it was just like crazy. And then all the other all the internet stuff started coming, and then next thing I know, like 2 weeks later, I was in a gallery show, and yeah, it was just craziness after that, And
That's
that I was
good.
just keep telling my story. So like you know, you never know. Like even when I sell a painting, right? A lot of people come ask me, "Oh, I want to buy a painting." They ask me questions. And sometimes you see people and like, these are the last. You know, you never think they're gonna buy a painting. You know, like you like just you know, you just show them to be nice, and they those are the ones that buy the paintings. It's crazy. Like so like this documentary, like Krystsina, you know, you never know. You know, you always got to put yourself out there. You never know who's gonna see it, who's gonna the last person you probably think that's going to appreciate it is probably the first person that will. So you never know. And I tell everybody, especially artists or even filmmakers like Krystsina, I said, you got to, if you don't do it, you don't have a chance, right? So if you do it and you put it out there and somebody will see it, you know, somebody will tell somebody else. And that's my paintings have been selling basically through word of mouth and Instagram and a little exposure I got from the first documentary and just being at Astor Place because hundreds of people come every day at Astor Place to get their haircut. And I have my paintings out there and they see them and then they start asking questions. And yeah, so, you know, if you're not in it, you can't win it, as they say.
Yep. All right. So, I mean, like, that's actually it for my questions. Is there any last words, any last statements you want to make?
I would like to say to everybody out there, if they see this, come see the movie. It's very, very well done job by Krystsina and Yasin, but the whole movie, it's inspirational for filmmakers or for artists because you get to hear there's probably like 7, 8 stories of different artists and how they evolved and how they became commercial and even not commercial and even how they got through life in the art world. It's every story is different, and it's all interconnected because we met each other and we talk to each other. It's very inspirational, I have to say. If it just you have to see it. It's very well done.
All right, great. Thank you. So the film is called You Can't Be an Artist. It's going to be shown Saturday, June 8th at 1:35 at the New York City Independent Film Festival. Please join us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
Thank you.